Hi everyone! Today I'm sharing my cornbread recipe. So these are the ingredients I used, and everything will be listed, the whole recipe will be listed in the description box. And I started by preheating the oven to 425. And I greased a 12 by 17 inch pan. And then I start with 2 cups of flour. The recipe says sifted flour. I don't usually sift the flour. I just put it in the bowl and go with it. But for YouTube purposes, I thought it would be fancy and sift it. I should have sifted it at this point. But since I don't normally, and I didn't know, I added the cornmeal to the sifter and it didn't work. So I just ended up dumping it in there. I'm trying and then I give up. So here's 2 cups of sugar and 8 teaspoons of baking powder. Yes, I said that right, 8. But I didn't say the sugar right. It's actually half a cup of sugar. And then this is a half teaspoon measurement, so it's a teaspoon and a half of salt. Not 3 teaspoons, but a teaspoon and a half of salt. And then I have to clean up my mess because I'm a messy baker. And this is actually my mom's recipe. She wrote it out for me. I think that was so sweet. I love to see her writing. So I actually follow that recipe all the time. And the original recipe, the recipe that she wrote out, is for jalapeno cornbread, but my son doesn't like jalapenos. He doesn't like the flavor of the jalapenos. So I omit the jalapenos and it's still absolutely delicious. And here I add 4 eggs. And I scramble them. It says just to kind of break them up, but I went a little crazy. So 4 eggs, 2 cups of milk, and then a half cup of oil. And here I think is the secret ingredient. It's the cream corn. Cream corn. You know what I mean. So I just pour that mixture into the dry ingredients and mix it all up. And this bowl is way too small, but I didn't want to get another bowl dirty, so I just made do. But my mom has been making this recipe for years. I think she said 20 years, something like that. So she originally got it from Betty Crocker, but I don't think Betty Crocker had the jalapenos either. She just kind of made it her own, and she's adjusted it to where the way she likes it, and I like the way she makes it. So I copy hers exactly, minus the jalapenos. And I actually usually half the recipe and use a 9 by 13 pan instead. It's just the 3 of us, so we don't eat that much. My mom makes the whole thing and then freezes it. She says it freezes really well, but I like the fresh baked. I like it fresh out of the oven with the butter just all melted on it. It's so good. So I will write the recipe both ways in the description box. And I just pour it into the prepared pan and pop it in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. And it's also really good the next day if you pop it in the air fryer for a minute or 2. Oh, it's so good. And there it is, fresh out of the oven. And another secret, I didn't used to do this and I could never figure out why my mom's tasted so much better than mine. And then I started putting the melted butter as soon as it comes out of the oven. And that just makes such a difference. It seals in the moisture. I don't know, it just adds so much to the recipe. And then here I am again trying to be fancy for YouTube. And I cut off little pats of butter. But it would have been easier to have melted butter. So you'll see me struggle with it for a little bit. And now I make cornbread probably about once a week. I used to only use the Jiffy cornmeal mix that comes in a little box because I just thought that was so much easier. But my mom just kept insisting it's not that much harder and it tastes so much better. And she was right. She was absolutely right. It's not that difficult to make. It's not that many more steps. So absolutely well worth it. Although Jiffy does make a good recipe. There's a recipe that calls for Jiffy cornmeal mix in a corn casserole. So maybe I'll share that also in a recipe coming up. But here it is, all cut up and ready to enjoy. I hope you try the recipe and let me know if you did and if you like it as much as we do.